Shalom, brothers and sisters. I've covered this lightly before, but let's draw into a bit more detail here. A lot of people will tell you, especially in Western nations and Western believing churches, it's not that bad. Christians aren't persecuted that hectically. We can worship freely. Where's the persecution? Where's people dying for their faith? Where's all that? It's because they're not looking. Because they're trusting Western media that's very controlled by an evil group to tell them what's going on. And of course, they don't report on what's happening with the Christians. So let me give you some info if you're not looking at the right places or watching the right people so that you can get these details and pray for these brothers and sisters. Because all these things the Lord said will happen is happening right now. You just might not have heard of it yet. And so let me just bring you up to speed. The genocide of Christians is escalating all over the world right now. But most of us don't realize unless you're looking. Did you know vast multitudes of Christians have been killed and hundreds of churches attacked in the recent months, 2023? If you live in the Western world, there's a good chance you haven't heard about it. UN experts have appealed to India's government over the ongoing violence in Manipur state, which has left 187 dead, 70,000 displaced and hundreds of churches destroyed amidst ethnic and religious tensions. The government deployed 50,000 soldiers, armed police and other security personnel to enforce the buffer zones between the two communities. Despite the measures, mobs looted more than 4,000 weapons and 500,000 rounds of ammunition from the police, according to official estimates. Because a lot of those police are with the mobs and agree with the mobs. There's so many stories where they stand and watch what they do to the Christians and they don't intervene, supposedly being afraid and not wanting to be caught up in this, and it's the Christians that have to deal with what's coming their way anyway. Meanwhile, the US government is being asked to intervene to prevent the genocide of 120,000 Armenian Christians by the Islamic government of Azerbaijan. A coalition of global organizations announced the launch of a campaign dedicated to ending the Azerbaijani blockade of the Armenian territory Artsakh and ending the genocide of 120,000 Armenians who have been trapped in their own country for more than 260 days without the ability to access food, fuel, medicine, and life-saving necessities. They are literally dying of hunger and sickness. These prominent organizations united under the banner 120,000 Reasons to signal President Biden, they're going to need a much bigger bat signal, and the US Congress that immediate action is needed to end this genocide, allow the delivery of life-sustaining relief, and allow Armenians unencumbered access to their country. Without these actions, America could stand by and allow death and displacement of 120,000 Armenian Christians, which is what they're currently doing. If they maybe said there was a climate crisis in Armenia, Biden would have thrown millions at the problem already and intervened. But it's just Christians. A mob attacked a Christian community in Pakistan's Faisalabad over accusations of desecrating a copy of the Quran. Hundreds of people armed with sticks and rocks stormed the Christian area, vandalizing several churches, cemeteries, and setting houses on fire. Pakistani authorities launched a probe into the matter and arrested 150 people. A pastor was shot and wounded by Muslims on Sunday evening in Jaranwala, Pakistan, a week after Islamist slogans were written on the walls of his church. The Reverend Eliezer Sidhu, pastor of a Presbyterian church in the Kukurnwala village, said that the assailants ordered him to recite the Islamic creed before shooting him. He was returning home with an assistant after a pastoral visit to church members when two bearded men stopped his motorcycle. One of the attackers pulled out a pistol and told me to recite the Islamic kalima, profession of faith. Pastor Sidhu stated in the first information report that he filed, "When I refused, and instead started to recite the Apostles' Creed, the man opened fire, resulting in a bullet wound on the upper half of my chest, and the assailants fled after the attack. Again, you will be told, deny Christ, and you can go. Your family will be fine. People say, yeah, but that's only in the tribulation. It's happening right now. I can tell you so many stories, but they're horrifying of what these poor brothers and sisters are going through for their faith. The martyrs being made on a daily basis around the world for their faith. People standing up for Jesus because Jesus stood up for them. Brilliant, beautiful souls. In neighboring Afghanistan, the Christian population has been reduced to an extremely low level because so many Christians fled when the Taliban took power. Throughout the Middle East and in heavily Islamic areas of Africa, there are relentless efforts to eradicate the Christian faith. For example, did you know that more than 18,000 Christian churches have been set ablaze in Nigeria since 2009? 18,000. Just chew on that number for a second. Of course, the nation that seems the most determined to wipe out Christianity in totality is North Korea. Kim Jong-un. The most dangerous place in the world to be a Christian is North Korea, where 2021 law against reactionary thinking subjects Christians to arrest, confinement in labor camps, or death. Owning a Bible is a serious crime. More than 360 million Christians suffer high levels of persecution and discrimination for their faith in the last 30 years, according to Open Doors analysts. The number of countries where Christians suffer high and extreme levels of persecution has doubled to 76 countries. Are you ready to lay your life down for Jesus Christ? To stand for your faith? For many Christians on the other side of the world, it's not a question that they have to ponder because it's a reality. And I want you to remember Matthew 10 verse 22. And you will, not might, you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But, there's always a but God moment, but he who endures to the end will be saved. Stand for Jesus Christ. Pray for those brothers and sisters who are facing these horrific persecutions around the world as we close in on the end. They're all also waiting for an emergency pickup and a rapture. They're all desperate to see Jesus and to be set free from this persecution and horror that they're living through only because they believe in Jesus Christ. All of them are waiting, and yet their faith grows stronger and stronger under persecution, under trials, under tribulation every day. And they are a shining light and an example to us. Pray for them. God bless. Keep looking up. No darkness can ever snuff the light of Jesus Christ out in our lives. We just shine brighter and brighter the darker it gets.